Greetings, everyone. When you lie in bed at night, or as you're rocked by the motion of a commuter train, have you ever felt a stirring deep in your chest? A question that whispers, am I truly okay just as I am? You open social media and see friends your age, building new careers or posting happy photos with their families, and you compare yourself. You're consumed by your daily work, and only time seems to pass. You don't feel like you're growing, yet you lack the courage to start something new. A sense of panic, as if you're being left behind by everyone else. A feeling that you alone are standing still in a thick fog. I understand that loneliness and anxiety are more than you can imagine. For I, too, once spent 40 days in the wilderness, alone, contemplating my path and wrestling with deep doubt. This emptiness and anxiety are not because you are lazy or inferior. They are proof that your soul is crying out, I want to live a more meaningful life. Today, to quench that thirst in your heart, I wish to share a story with you. Once, a wealthy young man came to me and asked, Teacher, what good deed must I do to have eternal life? He had followed all the laws since he was a boy and had accumulated what one would call good deeds. He was a sincere young man. However, his heart was not fulfilled. That is why he came to me. I said to him, if you wish to be complete, go, sell your possessions, and give the money to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come, follow me. When the young man heard this, he went away grieving, for he had many possessions. Now, in hearing this, I am not telling you to give away all your wealth. The important point here is to ask, what is it that you truly cannot let go of? What the young man couldn't release was likely not just his physical property. It might have been the social status he had built, the approval of others, and the sense of security that came from thinking, I have all this. In other words, his pride. For us in the modern age, what is this possession? It might be a stable corporate job or a high salary, or perhaps it's the belief that I must not fail, or an excessive concern for what others think of me. We become so afraid of losing these things that we turn our eyes away from what is truly important, even if we hear a voice from deep within our hearts wishing to take on a challenge. The fear of what if I lose my current life drowns it out. As a result, the soul thirsts, and anxiety is born. So, how can we be freed from this anxiety and walk a truly fulfilling path? I will share with you a concrete method in 3 steps. Step 1. Identify your mental clutter. First, find a quiet moment and take out a piece of paper. Ask yourself, what am I most afraid of losing? And write down everything that comes to mind. A stable income, my reputation, a record of never failing, an easy life. No matter how small, write it down. This is the mental clutter you are unconsciously clinging to. In psychology, this is called the comfort zone. We are wired to feel strong resistance to leaving this familiar territory, even if we are dissatisfied with it. This is because the brain perceives change as a threat. However, growth exists only outside of this comfort zone. The first step is to objectively recognize what is holding you back. Step 2. Share your small loaf of bread. Next, try using what you have for someone else's benefit. I once fed 5,000 people with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. This is passed down as a miracle story, but its essence lies elsewhere. My disciples said, this is all we have. But I gave thanks for it and shared it with the people. And what happened? Not only was everyone satisfied, but there were leftovers. You, too, surely have a loaf of bread you can share. It doesn't have to be a large sum of money or special talent. For example, the knowledge you've gained from your job. Take a little time to teach a junior colleague patiently. Summarize a book you've read and explain it to a friend in a way they can understand. Or simply listen to someone who is troubled, without judgment, until they are finished speaking. According to neuroscience research, acts of kindness towards others release a hormone called oxytocin. It's also known as the happiness hormone and has the effect of reducing stress and deepening trust with others. When you use what you have for someone else, your brain feels I am a valuable being, and you become filled with a sense of affirmation from within. The feeling of I have nothing transforms into the realization that I become richer by sharing. Step 3. Plant a single mustard seed. Finally, take one tiny step forward. I taught that the kingdom of heaven is like a single mustard seed. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it grows, it becomes larger than any garden plant, and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches. Your future is the same. You do not need to achieve great results immediately. If you feel crushed by a vague anxiety about the future, first, plant a mustard seed. For example, if you have a big dream of starting my own business someday, then today, just read 10 pages of a book on that topic. That is enough. If you want to learn a new language, then today, just learn one new word. The brain records this small step as a success experience. This is the small steps principle in psychology. By accumulating small successes, your self-efficacy, the feeling that I can do it, will grow, and that feeling will give you the courage to take the next, slightly larger step. There is no need to rush. What is important is what kind of small seed you will plant in the field of your heart today. Let's summarize. The anxiety of am I okay like this? Is the cry of your soul. First, look directly at the mental clutter you are clinging to. Next, feel your inner abundance by sharing your small loaf of bread for someone else. And then, plant a single mustard seed for the future. By repeating this, you will be freed from comparisons with others and vague anxieties about the future. And you will be filled with a quiet but certain confidence and joy. You will be able to walk your own unique path. Now, let me hear your voices. What is the mental clutter you have decided to let go of starting today? What is the small loaf of bread you can share for someone else? And what is the single mustard seed you will plant today? Please, share it in the comments section. Your words may become a guidepost for someone else who is lost in the same fog. Let us make this place a school of righteousness. where we can learn from and support one another. I am always with you, for the kingdom of heaven is already within you.